What is going on, Skull family? I'm Kyle,
I'm Darin
and this is the Purple Dopes with
with
Hopes
Hopes Podcast.
podcast. I got more exciting news to kick it off with. You ready?
Let's do it.
The Vikings are currently undefeated since we launched our podcast.
Let's go. Let's go.
We have not lost a game since the Purple Dopes podcast has went live. So I don't know. I just think that's a sign of things to come right there.
You got to think they're tuning in, right?
They got to be watching. They know what's up. So
That's right.
welcome to episode 5 of the Purple Dopes podcast. We got a couple shout outs, man. Hey, we got some Purple Dope swag we're rocking this week. Look at that.
Oh, baby.
Shout out to Mont's Made Crafts, actually put these shirts together for us. So shout out to you if you ever listen to this podcast ever. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point we'll see some of these shirts floating around US Bank Stadium. I don't know.
I mean, being at the stadium, I probably had at least a dozen people come up and ask me about it on Saturday. So I think there's interest, man. It's new, people haven't heard of it. So hopefully we get some more listeners this week.
All right. Well, if you were one of those 12, we encourage you guys to, number one, check out the podcast, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, or iHeartRadio. Please drop a comment if you're one of those 12 on YouTube. And then please make sure you rate the show, regardless of how you feel. Please put a rating on there and then review us. We'd love to hear what you guys think of the podcast. So, and then, of course, if you were on YouTube, make sure you sub to the channel. We always love to see some new subs popping in every week. So,
definitely.
Darin, you were at the game, my friend. 20-10, Vikings beat the Texans. Give me your overall feel of week 1 of the preseason for our boys in purple.
You know, we are the dopes with hopes, right? So there's always hopes. And I'm super hopeful coming out of that game. I thought you saw exactly what you wanted to see for the most part. JJ got to play one series. I thought he looked pretty good overall. Hit kind of the passes he was supposed to hit.
Yeah.
You know, maybe accuracy was a little off. I would say it was the only probably nitpick I'd have for him.
For sure.
Threw a couple behind Addison that he still ended up catching. He did miss a third down throw. I think it was Lucky Jackson running deep post in the middle. Looked like he had him if you would been accurate, but overthrew him.
For sure.
But other than that, he picked up that first down with his legs, which I was encouraged to see that you want to see him be an athlete out there still with the ball.
Yeah.
So I thought just everything JJ wise, I was happy to see it. He looked like he was in control. And I think just as he gets more and more comfortable, he'll be hitting those throws.
I got
the pocket.
Go
ahead.
I got him at 4.7 for 30 yards.
Yep.
I think 2 out of his first 3 passes were to Addison. So seems like maybe there's a little bit of a connection already brewing there. But I would agree with you as well. I thought overall he looked pretty comfortable. I loved him. I don't know if you saw that little intro video of him coming out of the tunnel, but he just looked super hyped. The biggest thing I enjoyed watching was on the sidelines, guys coming off the field. He's out there slapping hands. He's excited. He just looks like he's really shaping into that leader that we're hoping for of the offense. I think, like you said, there's gonna be misses, but no turnovers. Made some plays with his legs, got that first down, which I thought was great. I think as the season wears on, he's going to get more comfortable. We may see some running a little bit sooner than we'd hope at the beginning, but overall, I think for playing only one series, I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, and I would assume this will be the only one we see him in preseason. We got Patriots coming to town for joint team practices this week. I would assume that he'll just be kind of leading the charge during the joints, and then probably see Sam Howell getting the start this weekend would be my expectation.
And what do you think? What do you think of?
Well, I was just going to say, speaking of Sam Howell, I've heard really mixed reviews, I guess at best, so far this preseason about our backup quarterback situation.
Yeah,
I thought he looked great. I was super pleased with it. I thought he hit some tight windows. Thought his accuracy was pretty good. Again, didn't turn it over.
Yep.
So I was really happy to see kind of Sam Howell be able to get in, have a pretty good game, playing with the backups. Thought he looked great. And so,
Yeah, I think overall for me, and I mean, just I was very pleased with Sam Howell out there because I know we've talked a little bit about just a little bit of the concern with him in training camps. But I thought he came out, he looked comfortable out there, made some bigger throws, which was great. I know he's got a big arm.
He had, I mean, the 94-yard touchdown drive, like that
Yeah,
was great. 94 yards, brought him all the way down. He was in total control. Like I loved it. So
yeah,
super
steps
thrilled to see
in
that.
on the goal line,
Yeah.
sneaks it into the end zone. I mean, just
Yep.
he did have that one fumble that was a little awkward. And then he got lit up. I don't know if you saw that,
I
but
did
he
see
got
that.
absolutely,
He
I don't
got
know, just
destroyed.
go down, Sam. Like picked it up,
Yeah.
and I don't know what yeah, anyways,
This is the
abs
preseason, buddy.
absolutely blasted. I thought, oh my gosh, don't do this to us, buddy.
Yeah,
But on the goal line, got his head down, got in the end zone. Team was fired up for him. He was fired up.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I thought the other two did all right. I think Rippon, I don't know if he's going to be around come season time. Maybe practice squad. Because your boy from Minnesota,
Skyuma,
dude, he did all right out there.
you look great. Threw 2 touchdowns. One of them didn't count, but he threw them. So yeah,
Yeah,
he looked great. Yeah, Brosmer's got a good arm. I think he would fit into a KOC offense.
for
So
sure.
he's an intriguing guy to see long term, if he's able to elevate himself to like more of a backup role or
Yeah,
what he does. But I think he's intriguing enough that if for today, I think he'd be QB3 and Rippon would be the odd man out. But
yeah, yeah.
super fun to watch.
How's the environment?
I thought Jordan
Oh yeah,
Mason with the first team, I thought he looked great too.
yes,
He hit, just watch it how fast he can hit those holes. Like he's kind of the bigger back. I feel like Aaron
yeah,
Jones is kind of the smaller, quicker guy, but man, can Mason get through like just the smallest seams in the offensive line. It's fun to watch. So
yeah,
I think he's gonna be a great guy to have on the squad here. And it sounds like we're kind of angling towards more of a 50-50 split between him and Jones this year. So
yeah,
excited to see kind of, the Thunder and Lightning kind of duo that we'll have back
for
there.
sure.
So thought
Yeah,
that was
I didn't think he missed much as
no.
far as, spots. I thought he was
Yep.
hitting his marks. I feel like he is going to be, as we've said, probably the guy middle end of the season out
Yep.
there, but he just runs so hard. I just
He
love it.
does.
I love watching him because he runs so hard. And as you said, he didn't miss many holes. There wasn't many tackles for losses.
Yep.
And a couple, he got put in kind of a bad spot on a catch. Where I think kind of zinged it at him and he just got, I mean, he caught it, but he kind of a bad spot there. But
Yeah.
one thing that I really liked watching was the screen game with Ty Chandler.
I thought was
I
thought that
think
was good.
I think that with JJ and Aaron Jones and even Mason out there, I think the screen game is going to be big for these running backs this year. And also it'll be nice for JJ not to have to, put the ball deep every single time and can rely on that a little bit. So,
Well, and speaking of Chandler, I thought it was interesting. Like I thought Ty Chandler was fine. There's nothing that really stood out as overly positive or negative about him in the game. But I wouldn't anticipate us keeping like 5 running
for
backs on the
sure.
team. Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have Mason, you're gonna have Jones, and you're gonna have CJ Ham.
Yeah.
It's really one open spot. You would think it's Ty Chandler, but then there's this guy, and I'm drawing a blank on the first name, but last name was Scott.
Oh yeah.
Man, he was running hard. He looked great. He was breaking
Mm.
tackles. So you got to wonder if a guy like that's going to compete with Ty Chandler for that last
Yeah.
running back spot or not. Like, I don't think he's quite as fast,
Hmm.
but there's obviously an issue with Ty Chandler over the course of his career with the Vikings.
Yeah.
Um, he hasn't really elevated his playing time. There must be some issue with the playbook or
Yeah.
really something. I'm not exactly sure what. So you got to wonder if he's possibly at risk of maybe missing out on that final 53-man roster. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Well, he's definitely had his chances, and I think at the
Yeah,
beginning there he did kind of step in and shined a little bit, but last season there really wasn't a lot of that spark that we saw. When he came in at the end of the season before and had a couple
for
big
sure.
games.
Yeah.
But yeah, well let's talk a little bit about our defense, man. 3 INTs, 2 sacks. How'd you feel the defense looked out there?
I mean, the Texans took that first opening drive down for a touchdown.
Concerning,
Kind
yeah.
of like, uh-oh, but it's also, I wouldn't say it's the first team Texans offense, but there were some
Yeah.
first teamers obviously in the game.
Yeah.
I think our defense, we might have started half, maybe a little less than half of our starters.
Yeah, it looked like I saw
So
Pace out there.
and everything was vanilla. So they're not really blitzing. They're, I think it was the defensive backs coach calling the defense all game. So, Beeflo's not calling the D. So I'm not going to read too much into it. I think there are a few spots with some of the corners, specifically some of the backups. I would like to have seen them a little bit tighter in their coverage.
Yeah.
I think it's Dwight McGlothern is the one that comes to mind where I thought he played fine. He's kind of a name throughout training camp that you've heard a lot.
Okay.
Thought he looked a little bit just like a step behind. So I'd like to see him tighten it up because he's a guy that they're projecting to make the team.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him tighten up a little bit. But there's I think the name's Khalif Hassan is the guy with 2 picks. Man, he was just in the right spot. Like he's a converted corner into safety. A couple, I think the second one kind of fell in his lap, but that's part of playing defense, man, is just being in the right spot for the ball to hit you. So I was obviously encouraged by that. The sacks were great.
Yeah.
I thought that the backups looked pretty solid. So I think overall pretty encouraging to see the effort. Outside of that first drive, they gave up 3 points. So overall, I was pretty happy with it. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm exactly with you. I don't think we read too much into it. I don't think we saw nearly the playbook being opened up with the defense. As you said, I don't even know if Flores was, maybe he was guiding, maybe he was helping, but really it wasn't his show. And so I don't know that we saw a lot of the packages that we're going to see come week 1 into the season from him. But I like the energy. I like the excitement. Seems like the youth is kind of stepping up. And making it fun for the older guys to, be on the sidelines cheering them on, which obviously is the best thing for me when that unity is coming together and guys are excited for each other. I think Paul Allen was interviewing Jefferson, throughout the game there, and half the time Jefferson's just getting excited about the plays going on, which just says a lot to me that he's more focused on what's happening on the field than, talking about himself or talking about what he's going to do for the team. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
I had to watch that when I got home because, seeing Jefferson on there for the whole third quarter, that's must-see TV. So that was great. Fun to watch.
And then, man, our boy Will the Thrill goes out there.
Oh, that I hit them all, man. Got 30
long of 48. I mean,
38 and a 48 and 2 for 2 on the PATs. Yeah. So I was happy to see it. Thought his kickoffs looked pretty good. It's interesting. I kind of forgot about that rule change that they put in this year. So the ball's going to the 35 on touchback this year. And they have that landing zone, which is between the 20 and the goal line, I believe.
Yeah.
And if you miss the landing zone, I think ball goes out to the 40. So I think this is an under talked about aspect coming into this season on what or how these kicks are going to affect offenses, what they're going to do. I mean, as a kicking team, you don't necessarily want to cede the 35-yard line.
Absolutely. That's
because that, the way the kicking game goes in the NFL, as of now, 57, 58-yard field goals, they're not gimmies, but guys are hitting them all the time. So
the guy from Jacksonville hit a 70-yarder.
70. That was crazy.
I mean, we're in a time
to spare, man. That was good from 73. It was crazy.
I think we're in a time right now as the NFL kind of evolves where that kicker is going to come into importance.
Absolutely.
There's a big difference between a 65-yard drive and a 75-yard drive.
Big
Obviously
time.
10 yards for mathematicians who are watching. Shout out to you. But really, I mean, that's another first down that you're having to get with 100%. Your offense. So I think there'll be an interesting kind of look on the kickoff this year and how that works for the Vikings. I mean, I'm just excited. Will's out there kicking with confidence.
For sure. Excited to see how that shapes up. One piece on the special team side that's definitely a downer. Sounds like Rondale Moore is going to be out for the year.
Yeah, I heard that.
Haven't seen the diagnosis yet, but I know he had an MRI yesterday. Doesn't look good. I don't think we're necessarily expecting him to be one of the main guys, like maybe wide receiver 4, but certainly a guy in the return game that we're going to be counting on. So seeing that happen in the first preseason game, you got to feel for the guy.
Yes.
Kind of been injury riddled throughout his career. Was hoping to get a fresh start this year.
Yeah.
But now we're going to need someone else on punts to step up. The big thing for me with punts, just catch the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
We need someone who's confident, catch the ball, get 5-10 yards if you can. But
was Felton back there getting punts?
No, I didn't. I don't
He was
remember
out there.
who
He was on kickoffs though, wasn't he?
he was on kickoffs. Yep.
Yeah.
And then even as I thought he did great, he seemed to click with Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Felton, I think he's in line for that wide receiver 3 spot. So
Nice.
excited to see kind of, especially, starting the year out, we'll be down a guy. So
Yeah.
excited to see how Felton can step in and yeah, I'd say the last thing for me, overall positive, but
Yeah.
feels like corner certainly is a position that makes me nervous more than anything
Yeah.
else on the team. I think we're probably one guy shy right now,
Yeah.
and I think they like McGlothern as kind of an unproven rookie, but Blackman, I know he's just coming off that ACL.
Hmm.
He seemed to step slow to me, but again, it might have just been the scheme they're running.
Yeah.
Um, not always easy to tell when you're watching the preseason games, but I'd be excited to see him go out and grab an extra corner. But
Yeah.
I guess we'll kind of see how the rest of the camp plays out.
And I think that's been our conversation throughout this is just the cornerback position. And I think you made a suggestion maybe on our first or second episode. Hey, Gilmore's still available.
Gilmore's out there, man.
So
Let's keep him in mind.
yeah. So
Yeah.
well, hey, you mentioned the idea of a Felton or a Naylor playing that wide receiver 3 spot. Obviously, we now know that those guys are going to need to step up, come week 1, 2, and 3, as we got the Bears, the Falcons, and the Bengals. Now that we know Jordan Addison's substance abuse suspension has come down. What are your thoughts on that? Just give me some reactions as you kind of heard the news, and what are your thoughts moving forward for the first 3 weeks?
I mean, this is the standard punishment for the NFL. So once he, pleaded guilty, like you knew it was going to be 3 games.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an opportunity to appeal to make it 2, but I think we just have to assume it's going to be 3.
Yeah, the way he talked in his interview, kind of post news, didn't sound like there was going to be any sort of appeal. Sound like it was really
Okay.
more of an acceptance of, hey, this
Take
is
your
what it
medicine.
is, and we're going to move forward. So
Yeah, I mean, after the game Saturday, I'm a little bummed because obviously there's a connection with him and JJ.
yeah,
They've been together at camp the whole time. Jefferson's been out, so they've
yeah,
obviously developed this chemistry. So knowing that that's not going to exist for the first 3 games, certainly kind of a bummer. But we were without Addison last year as well.
yeah.
He got injured in the Giants game, didn't play against the Niners, didn't
True.
play against the Texans, came back against the Packers. I would say in terms of schedule, it probably works out pretty well.
Yes,
I was
would agree
watching
with that.
PFT Live the other week. Florio and Sims kind of made the point. It's not like, the Vikings have murderer's row of opponents the first 3
Yes.
games. Bears are the Bears until they prove otherwise, I guess.
It'll still be the Bears.
They'll still be the Bears. The Falcons, again, I think the Falcons will be decent, but they're not. It's like playing the Eagles, and then obviously, the Bengals offensively are super dynamic. Defensively, they're going to struggle.
Yeah.
So I'd say in terms of the 3-game stretch, it's probably as good as we could hope for.
For sure.
But to your point, we're certainly going to need 1, 2 guys to step up along with Jefferson, Hawkinson. Is it Naylor? Is it Felton? Is it both?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what that combination looks like in kind of the, but we got KOC, right? And he's the master of putting guys in the right spot to make plays. So,
yeah, I think it was interesting kind of, seeing the reactions from the big networks. Of course, it was headline news, like this big shock, big surprise. But the Purple Dopes, I mean, we're just average Joes, and I don't think either of us were shocked at what happened. It was kind of the expectation. So I think, coming off that, I think we were ready. I think they've been planning for that. I think the thing that I liked hearing was Addison is still going to be at training camp. He's still able to practice. So he's still going to continue to gel with JJ. He's still going to continue to get the mix with the first team. We are going to need one of those guys to step up. I think Jalen Naylor, as we've talked about, is very underrated at wide receiver 3. I think he could be a wide receiver 2 on a lot of teams in the NFL. I think Jalen Naylor is that good. So I think he can step up. And then Felton, I think Felton could step in there and really kind of absorb some of that wide receiver 3 role as well. And then I think we're going to lean a little bit on Mason and Jones in the passing game. Jones obviously is a proven pass catcher. The guy can run routes. So I think JJ will be able to lean on him. And then we've been talking about since we launched this. Hawkinson coming back this season
Oh,
is
baby.
huge.
I can't wait.
So yep. I mean, we just rambled off 5 guys there that I think could fill that gap of the wide receiver 2 until Addison gets back. My biggest thing with Jordan Addison is, buddy, make sure you got your stuff in order. Okay. We don't need to see any more of this. And it seems like from the interview that I listened to of him talking to the press, it seems like there's some maturity there. It seems like there's some growth there. It seems like there's some understanding. But for me, I heard, I can't remember what wide receiver they were doing it was right after this all went down with Jordan Addison, not the suspension, but the actual act of substance abuse. And they were like, teams provide shuttles. So, dude, have that number on your phone. Save it.
We all have Uber, right? Like,
yes,
it's right,
exactly.
man.
Like, yeah. So let's just be smart moving forward. Yeah. But you're young. You get to the league.
For sure.
You don't have that understanding of real life with big buckets of money in your hands. So for me, I just think this is a good learning lesson. And 3 games is not the worst thing in the world.
Yep.
And as you said, Bears, Falcons, Bengals. Bengals obviously. They're expected to be good this year. That offense is supposed to be really good. But hey, 3 games, we can get through 3 of them and then move on with Addison. I think we're going to be okay.
Yep. Those are the right 3 games to miss.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, you said you got a little challenge for me today. Kind of walk me through how you came up with your little challenge for the.
All right. Yeah.
We'll today.
We'll flip the roles a little bit. So I was at the game waiting to get a beer, and guy walks up. He's like, "Hey man, got some trivia here if you're interested in winning a can koozie." I was like, "Well, sure." So the 3 questions, they're not easy. So I'm curious to see how you're gonna do. So
okay.
Like I told you earlier, there's 5 questions. I had to get 3 out of 5 to win a can koozie. The first 2 are eluding me, but they were very, very easy, and I know you got them. So let's just go with the 3.
Okay, and I just want to recognize you were wearing your Purple Dopes podcast
I was
shirt.
representing. Yep.
But you came out and went 5 for 5. So I mean, that to me says like, all right, man, Purple Dopes know their stuff. So let's see. Hit me with the 3 that you remember.
All right, number 1. Who is the first head coach of the Minnesota Vikings?
Wow. Well, in my mind, I go to Bud Grant, but I don't think that's right.
It's not.
Yeah, obviously he's the legend that my mind goes to as far as old coaches. Wow. I would have guessed Bud Grant. I know that's not right. But the first coach of the Vikings, I'm going to go Bud Grant, but I know that's not right.
Norm Van Brocklin.
Oh, yes. I know the name. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
I would have never grabbed that from my memory, but now that you say it, the name, yes, Norm Van Brocklin. Let's go.
He said, the guy doing the trivia said that everybody said Bud Grant.
Yeah, and you nailed it.
I mean, it's a trick question, but
Well done, my friend. Shout out Norm.
Number 2, how many years did the Vikings play in the Metrodome?
Oh gosh.
This was a partial guess for me on the first year in the Metrodome. I couldn't remember, so I kind of guessed and I ended up getting it right.
Gosh. Okay. Oh man. The Metrodome. Well, I'm thinking like 80s. Oh, because I remember the Twins playing in the Metrodome. When I was a kid. So obviously it was in the 80s. And then Collapse was in 2000. Was it in? Blair Walsh missed the field goal when we were playing in the Minnesota Stadium, right?
Yep, that was at what used to be TCF Bank Stadium, now Huntington Bank Stadium.
Yeah. So, man, I'm gonna say 26 years as a guess.
32.
32. Oh man, when was it? When was its first year?
So they moved. I believe it was 82, and the last year was 2013.
Yeah, I was thinking early 80s.
Yeah.
But my math eluded me there.
Yep. And that I think was kind of a trick question because I think a lot of times people end up forgetting that they played at the University of Minnesota for 2 years for US.
Oh man. Nope. My math eluded me there. I think I would have, if I would have done my math a little better. All right. Dang, I'm 0 for 2, man. I would not be getting a koozie. Well,
Now,
I guess if I get this one.
last one's, I don't know, I'm curious. So, where does the mascot, the Vikings, come from?
Oh, it's got to come from like Victor the Viking?
Nope. Why are we the Vikings?
Oh, I mean, there's got to be some Vikings history. There's let's see, Norwegian, some sort of.
That's you would have gotten this one. Yep. So basically, the Scandinavian history.
Oh, okay. Some sort of connection.
That was a little bit of a looser.
I was thinking some sort of connection to Minnesota. I was trying to figure out how the Vikings would have gotten.
Yep. But so I went with the Norwegian piece as well. A lot of Norwegians in Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
And so he kind of was yeah.
Okay.
Kind of able to reason my way through that question, and he gave it to me. So.
All right, fair enough, man. Well, all right. Well, I'm glad you were there, not me, because you shine for the Purple Dope. So,
all right,
yeah, well done. All right. Speaking of the Purple Dopes podcast, please make sure if you are on YouTube, you smash that subscribe button. Also, if you are following or listening on any of our podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon, drop us a rating, leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you guys. Darin, we got, like you said, we got Patriots in camp practice going on, dual practices going on, as well as we got our second preseason game coming up this weekend. So we'll be coming at you with all the updates that we can next week. Darin, any final thoughts as we part?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what they can do, getting out against the Patriots in practice. And yeah, looking forward to recapping game 2 next Monday with you.
For sure. All right. And also be ready because we're going to be dropping some of our own predictions in the next few weeks here as we're leading up to this season of how we think the Skull Boys are going to do, as well as just our thoughts on the NFC North as a whole. But we're dope, so we know the Vikings are going to be leading the charge when it comes to our rankings. So always remember, friends, you skull, we all skull together. We'll see you guys next week.